So welcome in this lecture. Today we'll talk about the virtual work and the Lagrangian of a system. So first we'll discuss what is the virtual work. See, when you apply a force on a system, what happens? It get displaced. So it get displaced towards some in some path. So if I'll take this ball, if I have this ball, okay, and if I hit this ball, it may have these options. So it will cover these paths. Okay, it may have. But out of these all paths, possible paths, there will be one path along which the action of this force, yeah, work due to this force will be the minimum. Okay, and that path is called a virtual displacement, and the work done along that path is called virtual work done. So सिंपली जब आप किसी बॉडी पे कोई फोर्स लगा रहे हैं तो बहुत सारे पॉसिबल उसके पाथ में से वो जो एक पाथ फॉलो करेगा जिसके अलांग वर्क डन मिनिमम होगा, एक्शन द फोर्स मिनिमम होगा, ठीक है, वही जो प्लेसमेंट होगा, जो वही जो पाथ होगा उसके अकॉर्डिंग जो प्लेसमेंट होगा, डिस्प्लेसमेंट होगा, दैट विल द वर्चुअल डिस्प्लेसमेंट, एंड जो वर्क डन होगा दैट विल द वर्चुअल वर्क डन. Okay, so when we learn this virtual work, what that mean? So D.A. Lambert has given a one principle for this virtual work. That D.A. Lambert has told that the virtual work done by the all applied forces and the inertial forces for a reversible displacement is zero. It means if I have some applied forces Fi's, okay, F1, F2, F3, and I have some inertial forces, that is Mi and Ai, then the work done by these forces is zero. So mathematically, if you see mathematically, I'm talking about this mathematical statement, this one, let me change the color, okay, and this one, I'm talking about this. So we can say that mathematically that the summation Fi minus MiAi into del I. So these are the resultant force. These Fi's are the applied forces, okay, and Ma into A, that is Mi into Ai, are the inertial forces. If there are so many inertial forces, then M1 A1, M2 A2, M3 A3, and delta Ri is the virtual displacement what we talked about. Okay, so the net total work done from these forces applied and inertial is zero. But remember, this principle works only for the reversible displacement, not for the irreversible displacement. When you talk about irreversible displacement, it means sliding, frictions. Okay, these are the irreversible displacements. So for this D'Alembert principle does not work. D'Alembert principle works only for the reversible forces. Okay. So now there is a one homework for you that we need to get that with this D'Alembert principle. Okay, now the D'Alembert principle we know. So from the D'Alembert principle, what we can calculate, that you have to do in the homework. I will talk about that later. Okay, so now we'll talk about the Lagrangian of a system. What is the Lagrangian of the system? So Lagrangian in general, Lagrangian is defined as the T minus U. T is the kinetic energy, so Lagrangian system is defined as the kinetic energy minus potential energy. If you see the very simple, what is the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is given by the half mv square. Kinetic energy is half mv square in the simplest form. If I'll write v as a x dot, when I say x dot, it means it is basically dx by dt, differentiation of x, rate of change of position, that is displacement, that is x dot. That's what is called v. So we can write this kinetic energy as a 1 by 2 m x dot square, right? So you can see that the t is a function of x dot. And similarly, if you talk about the potential energy is nothing but the half kx square. So it's a function of x. So if I'll talk about some generalized coordinate, that is qi, okay? So the kinetic energy will be function of the qi dot, and the potential energy will be function of q dot, q. Okay, this is a qi dot, this is the qi. Okay, so it means the kinetic energy is a function of qi dot, potential energy a function of qi. So the Lagrangian will be a function of qi dot and qi, and also versus t, because t is there already. So Lagrangian is a function of qi dot, q, and t. So for us to know calculate the Lagrangian of a system, basically it's a function of qi dot, and t, and it is defined by the t minus u. So now, if you know the energy, if you know the kinetic energy and the potential energy of the system, then you can calculate the its Lagrangian in a simplest form. For example, I have a harmonic oscillator. सिंपल हार्मोनिक ऑसिलेटर है, काइनेटिक एनर्जी क्या होगा? But simply harmonic oscillator, the kinetic energy will be half mv square. That's correct. So 1 by 2 mx dot square if it is a one dimensional harmonic oscillator. Potential energy kx square minus 1 by 2 kx square हो गया. Similarly आप pendulum लीजिए. So now this geometry you have to use a simple mechanics is problem. Okay, whatever mechanics you understand. Now this is a pendulum. There is something called pendulum length L. Okay, and it is displaced at some angle theta. So now use this basic mechanics rules, and then you will calculate the kinetic energy and potential energy. It's a class 12 standard mechanics problem. So kinetic energy will be this one. Okay, potential energy will be this one. And now kinetic minus potential. But you can see that in kinetic again it comes as a theta dot. In potential it comes as a theta value. So kinetic is a function of theta dot, that if theta is a generalized coordinate, and potential is a function of theta. Now, if you are making the system complex, you can calculate the Lagrangian. It is tough to calculate, but you can calculate the Lagrangian. So I have listed the Lagrangian for some systems, okay, but I will advise you to solve these kinetic and potential by your own and then write there. Okay, so once you calculate, know that Lagrangian of the system, okay, what is the Lagrangian of the system? In that case, how to, so I'll not say how to, once you know the Lagrangian, now there is a way to get the other coordinates from that Lagrangian, okay, other parameters. Now I have a Lagrangian equation, and that Lagrangian equation is defined by this way: d by dt of del L by del Qi dot minus del L by del Qi is equal to 0. And this is for the conservative system. Okay. For non-conservative system, I don't know why it is not written here. It should be written as a non-conservative. For non-conservative system, this is non-conservative. non-conservative. And if you, I believe that you know the what is the conservative, non-conservative systems. If the curve of the force is zero, okay, then the system is called conservative, and if it's non-zero, it's called non-conservative. And you should recall that conservative system definition. What is that conservative and what is that? So for conservative system, this d by dt del by del qi dot minus del by del qi is zero. For non-conservative, it is a some generalized force. So for a simple sake, conservative means where the forces, where the energy is conserved, and you have a different listed property of the conservative system. But the very simple is the your energy is conserved. For non-conservative, the energy is not conserved. So it means if it's not conserved, then you will have some generalized force, and that is qi. Now from here, this is the two-dimensional 2D equation. Okay, so we'll not say the 2D equation. It's basically a second order differential equation that you can solve for the Lagrangian L. Okay, so now we got the Lagrangian equation. What is the physical significance of this Lagrangian equation? If you want to know the what is the physical significance of this Lagrangian equation, there is some see that this. Now the term which we say with term we say del L by del Qi, okay, and another term is del L by del Qi dot. Because L is a function of Qi and Qi dot, so it can be a partial differentiation of Qi dot and also with the Qi. The del L by del Qi is mathematically a conjugate momentum. So if this is the generalized coordinate, okay, position coordinate, then del L by del Qi dot will be a generalized momentum coordinate. Okay. So if you see, this is a momentum one. This is the momentum. So you will see the dp by dt. And if you recall your Newton's law, that's also say F is equal to dp by dt. And that was for motion of the system. And hence, the Lagrangian also explains the motion of the system. So simple one. Once you know that del L by del Qi is nothing but the canonical momentum or conjugate momentum of the system, okay, corresponding to this generalized coordinate Qi, then this is basically a dp by dt. And that's a, see, dp by dt is generalized force, F here. So it's very much similar to the Newton's second law. So Newton's second law also gives you the equation of motion of the system. Okay, describe the motion of the system. So Lagrangian equation also describe the motion of the system. So very simply, we can see that what we have used Newtonian mechanics, okay, the same can be done by Lagrangian, but there may be some advantage. This is just another set of rules where we can solve the mechanics of a system, motion of the system using this set of equations. That's called Lagrangian equations, Lagrangian of the system. Okay, that's what I was talking in the homework. Using the D'Alembert principle, okay, the principle was what? The total work done, virtual work done by the applied forces and the inertial forces for a reversible system is zero. So using that principle, derive this Lagrangian equation. That's a homework for you. Okay. The next one is Hamilton's principle. So Hamilton principle says that now I have a conservative system, and for that conservative system, the system moves for measurement is done at the time t1, and then the path of the process is this one, and I have another in time t2. Now from t1 to t2, I may have numerous path. Okay, see that I have a numerous path from time t1 to t2 for a same system. For a same system, when the measurement is started at the time t1, end at the time t2, and then I can go by different paths. But out of all these available paths, the system will consider that path for which the Lagrangian of the system will be the extremum. क्योंकि हर एक के साथ आपका लैग्रेंजियन भी अलग अलग होगा, इसके लिए लैग्रेंजियन अलग होगा, इसके लिए लैग्रेंजियन अलग होगा, इसके लिए लैग्रेंजियन अलग होगा, इसके लिए अलग होगा, इसके लिए अलग होगा. तो जिस पाथ के लिए जो उसका लैग्रेंजियन का इंटीग्रल फॉर्म मतलब एल डी टी टी वन टू टी टू फ्रॉम इंटीग्रल टी वन टू टी टू एल डी टी डेफिनेट इंटीग्रल, if that integral is extremum, okay, then we can consider that path. So out of all possible paths between the time t1 initial time t1 and t2, the actual path followed by system is such that the Lagrangian according to that path will be the extremum. When I say extremum, you understand that in the first class I defined extremum. It's either be positive or either be maximum. I mean, so that's what is called Hamilton's principle. Out of all possible paths between the time t1 and t2, there will be one path for which in Lagrangian of the system, integral of the time integral of the Lagrangian of the system will be the extremum. That's what is called I. So again, the second part of our assignment, that now from the Hamilton principles derive the Lagrange equation. So Lagrange equation you have to derive from the D'Alembert principle, and then you have to derive from the Hamilton's principle. So what I was talking about, this Newtonian mechanics. In Newtonian mechanics, we have a set of rules, and from there we will describe the motion of the particle system, and then Lagrange also we have done the same. But why we are using these two different set of rules, two different mechanics? So Lagrangian mechanics and Newtonian mechanics, if you compare, you will see that there is a importance. Lagrangian mechanics has a huge importance over Newtonian mechanics. Let us see why. So you have a description of the motion of the system. Now let us consider I have some constants over the system. So for each constant in Newtonian mechanics, I need to write a equation, and I have to solve those equations. Okay. When I talk about the constant, it means constants. It means the conditions. So for each conditions in a simplest form, it's a condition. So for each condition, you write a differential equations. Okay. That when you talk about the condition, that condition is the well defined. Okay, where so I will explain first to the constant, because so we are discussing about that importance of the Lagrangian mechanics and Newtonian mechanics over the Newtonian mechanics, and we discuss about the constants. So the constants are the main part in this discussion. So if you see that if you have, let us consider three constants in a motion, okay, then definitely ये पूरा का पूरा आपका इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन है वो इन तीनों को यूज करना पड़ेगा, उसको फॉलो करना पड़ेगा. सो न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स के लिए आप तीनों कांस्टेंट्स के लिए आपको तीन इक्वेशन लिखने ही पड़ेंगे, जैसा भी इक्वेशन लिखिए जिसमें तीनों आ जाए. लैग्रेंजियन मैकेनिक्स में यही प्रॉफिट है। उसमें क्या है कि अगर इसके पास 3 कांस्टेंट है तो इसका मतलब उसको इसको ध्यान देने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो अगर आप टोटल अवेलेबल डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम में से इन 3 कांस्टेंट्स को हटा सकते हैं तो बेसिकली जितना ज्यादा कांस्टेंट्स होंगे इस सिस्टम में, जितने भी ज्यादा आपके कांस्टेंट्स होंगे उतना ज्यादा लैग्रेंजियन के लिए वो इजी हो जाएगा, जबकि न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स में उतना ही ज्यादा टफ होता जाएगा। एंड वन आल्सो दैट इन न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स कांस्टेंट है क्या ये पता होना जरूरी है, तभी आप उसका एक्शन देख सकते हैं, क्या उसका इफेक्ट होगा, एंड देन अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट यू हैव टू राइट दैट मैथमेटिकल इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन। बट इन Lagrangian, you don't need to know about that. You don't need the information about that constraint, क्योंकि उसकी हमें ऐसे भी जरूरत नहीं है, वो तो हमारे डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम को आराम से कम कर देगा, तो हमें उसकी जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है। तो इसी रीजन से लैग्रेंजियन मैकेनिक्स जो होता है वो न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स के ऊपर फायदेमंद होता है। other than that, in Newtonian mechanics वो वेक्टर क्वांटिटी है because force is वेक्टर क्वांटिटी, in Lagrangian we consider it as a scalar quantity. Okay, so now we have another concept that's called cyclic coordinates. So now we have a Lagrangian, and Lagrangian means it has a function of different generalized coordinates q1, q2, q3, q4, and that qz. Okay, qj plus 1, whatever is that. So Lagrangian will basically a function of Lagrangian will be a function of this q dot and t. This is the function of all these. So if I have a different generalized coordinates, number of generalized coordinates q1, q2, then correspondingly I will have a q1 dot, q2 dot, qn dot. Out of these all generalized coordinates, अगर मान लीजिए मेरा एक generalized coordinate qj है जो कि missing है, ठीक है?
सर ये जैम की क्लास है ना?
जो मिसिंग है, नहीं, जो मिसिंग है वो उसी को हम बोलते हैं साइक्लिक कोऑर्डिनेट। जो भी कोऑर्डिनेट हमारा मिसिंग है दैट इज कॉल्ड साइक्लिक कोऑर्डिनेट। अगर मेरा मान लीजिए लैग्रेंजियन समहाउ एक्स वाई, ठीक है, जेड है, और उसकी जगह पे अगर 3D सिस्टम है उसकी में वाई उसमें नहीं है, वाई मिसिंग है, इसका मतलब वाई विल बी कॉल्ड एज साइक्लिक कोऑर्डिनेट। व्हाट डट मीन द साइक्लिक कोऑर्डिनेट? जब वाई होगा नहीं तो निश्चित तौर पे डेल एल बाई डेल वाई जीरो हो जाएगा, क्योंकि वो है ही नहीं तो उसका पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव जीरो होगा। इन अ जनरल फॉर्म del L by del QI will be zero because del L by del QJ will be zero, QJ है नहीं। सो जो भी कोऑर्डिनेट साइकिल होगा, मान लीजिए QJ को साइक्लिक है तो इसका मतलब QJ लैग्रेंजियन में है नहीं, और QJ लैग्रेंजियन में नहीं है मतलब लैग्रेंजियन इस पर डिपेंड नहीं करता है। इसका मतलब है कि del L by del QJ जीरो है, del L by del QJ क्या है? जीरो है। And then if you put in the Lagrangian equation, this part becomes zero. So now the d by dt of del L by del q dot j, and I know that del L by del q dot j is nothing but the corresponding momentum, canonical momentum. अभी हमने बात किया था ना कि del L by del q dot is a canonical momentum, तो ये momentum का term हो गया। So it means d by dt of momentum, generalized coordinate momentum, okay, is zero. You see mathematics here. So we can write that d by dt of pj, that is a generalized momentum coordinate, that is zero, and hence the pj is equal to constant, generalized momentum corresponding to generalized coordinate qj, and there the qj was a cyclic
हेलो
coordinate.
सर,
अभी मैं
हेलो
तो आप देख सकते हैं कि जो साइक्लिक कोऑर्डिनेट qj है उसके करस्पॉन्डिंग जो मोमेंटम है वो क्या है, कांस्टेंट। यू कैन चेक दैट।
सोचे कैसे ये चल रहा है।
हो गया, ओके। सो you can see that if a qj is a generalized coordinate, then if it is cyclic, then the corresponding generalized momentum coordinate for this cyclic coordinate will be a constant for the system. आप अगर हैमिल्टोनियन जैकोबी मैकेनिक्स में देखेंगे तो आप देखते हैं कि आपके पास जितने भी कोऑर्डिनेट्स होते हैं, जनरलाइज्ड कोऑर्डिनेट्स होते हैं, सभी के सभी एब्सेंट होते हैं। ओके, सो okay, by this way we will end the today's class. Okay, in the next class I will discuss about the conservation principles and the symmetry. It says that every conservation principle corresponds to a symmetry in nature or vice versa. Okay, so we'll start this in the next lecture. Thank you.